Welcome to USA Global TV and Radio, where our mission is to provide education, entertainment, hope, and inspiration. USA Global TV and Radio connects you with experts and audiences all around the world every single day to help you succeed in business and to live a richer life. Visit us at usaglobaltv.com to learn about career and life-changing training and mentoring programs like the Listening Mentor. Subscribe to our newsletter to stay informed about our special programs and offers. Discover how you can become a guest on one of our shows or a host or producer of a USA Global TV and Radio show of your very own. That's USA Global TV and Radio, where the doctor is always in.
Hello, everyone. Happy Friday or happy Saturday, wherever you are in the world joining us. This is USA Global TV and Radio. I'm Dr. JACALYN KERBECK, and our show today is the power of etiquette and manners. Our subject is how to build community around your brand. Let's welcome the star of our show, Mr. Philip Sykes. Come on out and join me. It's Friday.
Friday. Happy Friday. How are you, Dr. JACALYN?
I am well, thanks. How are you doing?
Really well, thank you. Yeah, the week's just flown by as always, and we're back in the studio together, so it's absolute joy.
It is so much fun for sure. And of course, we have an exciting guest who's not backstage yet. So we will, as they say in the business, carry on.
We've got to carry on. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, Philip, for people who are just joining us, as you know, this show always gets a lot of attention from viewers and listeners. These topics are really so relevant and pertinent to everyone and anyone around the world. What do you do there at the British School of Excellence?
Well, this week we've had the most fantastic week. We had a week back in the actual coaching and training room with 12 incredible teenagers, ranging from the age of 13 all the way up to an 18 and a half year old. And I tell you something, we kicked off. They came into the coaching environment dressed beautifully. They were all punctual, and they sat there obviously with a little bit of trepidation, and we kicked off, and we literally had 2 10-minute breaks between 10 a.m. and 4:15 p.m. We went down the route of going into how important your brand is, how important you are as a person, how do we show up. We talked about the importance of eye contact and smiling and that firm handshake. We went into the art of introduction, the art of small talk. We then moved on the journey into areas of shifting your mindset, incorporating the 6-second rule, not allowing your mood to dictate your manners. We had great interaction and rapport building. We did some wonderful breakout rooms, or sort of breakouts and what role plays, which was just superb. We then got the team to come in and set the table for this wonderful group. They observed, and while they were doing that, I was explaining the importance of how you set up a table and you set it up correctly. We then did the fine dining etiquette dining experience, where they all got the opportunity to understand the importance of navigating themselves around a table with confidence, how to incorporate your cutlery correctly, and so forth. Off the back of finishing up the dining etiquette module, we then wound the day up by talking about mapping your future, thinking about how do you see yourself moving forward, how much of an individual you are, and what a game changer you are. So that was our mindset and confidence program we ran on Wednesday out of London, and it really was phenomenal. Feedback's been coming in from both the parents and the teenagers, and I have to say, I just know what my why is, because it's just boom. I just absolutely love it, and yet we just want to keep growing and building our teenage development programs. That's just the tip of the iceberg. Other areas that we focus on are ETIQUETTE, which is the younger children. We then, as I mentioned, have the teenage course, which is mindset and confidence. Mindset and resilience is the next one up, and then mindset and money. We've got the polished professional for anyone out there going on to university, anyone out there coming out of university, anyone in the world who's looking to take themselves to the next level, whether you're working for an organization or working for yourself. Our Train the Trainer, which is our flagship program, anyone out there who's had the most incredible journey through life, the bumps, the curves, the ups, the downs, the highs, the lows, who really have this vision of helping people through life and helping them build their confidence. That Train the Trainer program is exactly what we focus on, is giving you those tools and the skill set to build your confidence in order to be able to go out there, coach and train people of all walks of life. So that's just the starters. Then we have emotional intelligence. We have image consulting and styling. We have voice preparation, interview skill preparation. We have how do we present ourselves across the board from the front of the room as well. So we've got so many different opportunities for anyone who's interested. Please do reach out to us at thebritishschoolofexcellence.com.
Wow, that is tremendous. Congratulations. And, congratulations to all the parents and the families who are supporting children getting a head start and learning about etiquette matters. So important.
It was phenomenal. And again, there were a few instigators in the sense of organizing the course. And one of the mums was just completely bowled over. They're just champing at the bit, wanting to know when the next program is going to be available and that sort of thing. So it puts fire under you, because so much of the time out there, you market yourself, you advertise yourself, you put yourself out there, and you don't get the traction that you would like to get. And bearing in mind, yes, like you, Dr. Jacalyn, we run organizations, we run businesses where we have to make money. We all do. But it's not about the money so much. It's about, why are people not taking this amazing advantage and opportunity to grow and to build that confidence? Because we know right now the future of anything we do is all about human connection. It's not about how clever we are or what we know. Artificial intelligence is taking over in so many areas, so many areas. The AI will be able to do so much of what we as human beings have been so capable in doing, but, and there's a huge but, it doesn't have what we've got, and that is the ability to connect with one another, the tools within us that we can open up and learn and connect with other people on a very deep and dynamic level. And that is the key to going forward through life. And we now, as human beings, more so than ever before, have really got to guide and steer our youngsters, our colleagues on this very bumpy road that lies ahead of us, because the world needs it more than ever before.
Excellent points as always. Thank you. And with our title today about how to build community around your brand, we are our brand. And so it starts with us and the things that your organization, the learnings that many times are not offered in traditional education programs. This is how you really start to build your brand as a human being, how you're showing up for other people. What are your thoughts about that?
Wonderful. How do you build your brand, whether it's you personally, which you are your brand? You've got to walk the walk, you've got to talk the talk. And how are you showing up every single day for yourself, but also for the people that you are surrounded by? Because that is the key. And from our experience and from my opinion, it's a trust that you have to build with your community. There's a factor of huge authenticity. There's the commitment of you understanding that each person that walks through your door is an individual. And if you learn from day one that you treat each person as an individual, and we've spoken about this on this show many times, and we talk about the platinum rule. We need to elevate ourselves to a level of how does the individual next to me or in front of me like to be connected with. They don't necessarily want to be treated exactly the same way that you may want to be treated. So there is so much we can do from a manners and etiquette point of view, from a emotional intelligence point of view. We've coined a phrase in the organization is hospitality intelligence. And about a year ago, we had a colleague of mine, a friend of mine, and a colleague of mine, Rob Fleming, really take a deeper dive into HQ, hospitality intelligence. And this is really what it's all about. This is how you build that amazing platform, that trust, that commitment from your client base.
Absolutely. And a couple of things I want to just mention along those lines. When I was going for my life coaching, career coaching certification, I remember that the facilitator made a very important point, which is you can't be coaching other people and helping them unless you are walking the walk and talking the talk and following your own passion. And it reminded me of something our dear friend Roland Friedel, who is one of our team members here, he and I are starting a new program about healthy lifestyle. And so I said to myself today, if you're going to be on a show with healthy lifestyle, you better change your eating habits because they're not all that healthy. So I can't be an ambassador for something unless I'm actually doing it myself. And so that's what we're really talking about today. And Philip, I mentioned to you very briefly when we started the show that I saw a number of photographs. You've been with some A-list, A-plus celebrities from across the world. And you've been with regular people, you've been with people at all levels, and it doesn't matter what someone's accomplished or what their title is. We have to treat everyone with respect.
150%. It is all about that. No matter who you engage with, no matter who you connect with. And with all due respect to everybody out there, I can honestly tell you, I've never been starstruck. And it's because I look at everyone as an individual and as a blessed and a gorgeous human being, right from someone who has not, well, to be very open with you, I've met people with actually no limbs, in the sense they've got half an arm on both sides, half a legs, walking on steel legs, being the most gorgeous, vivacious person I think I've ever met in my entire life. To, as Dr. Jacalyn said, I've been privileged to meet the King of England. Now, he was the prince when I met him. I worked with him on and off in the Heritage Academy here in the United Kingdom. And yeah, I just feel that we all need to understand the importance of building friendships and connections with people, no matter who you get introduced to in this world. And look what you can learn from people.
Exactly. And I've mentioned this before, but during my corporate career, which I left in 2020, I also had a number of side gigs because I'm always the kind of person I like to learn new things.
You're a hustler, Dr. Jacalyn. You're a hustler.
And I worked in cosmetics for one of the biggest cosmetic brands. And I remember I got a lot of backlash from people saying, you have a doctorate and you've got this great career. Why are you working in retail? And I looked at them and said, what's wrong with retail? People work in retail. People need products from people who sell retail products. And some of the customers would treat me in a very unkind and unprofessional way, just calling me a stupid counter girl. And I never forgot about that. It doesn't matter how much you make or what you're doing. It matters how you show up and how you treat other people. And that's what we're talking about, building community around your brand. So what are some of the first things that we can do in order to attract the right people? When I say the right, kind-hearted people who treat one another with respect.
For me, you have to build that connection with people. I think gone are the days now where someone just clicks onto an advert or sees you in a magazine or a feature that they're going to sort of jump at whatever it is might be that you're offering. So I truly believe that building a brand is about sharing. Building yourself, building an organization is very much about sharing and surrounding yourself with people that are better than you, surrounding yourself with obviously like-minded people, surrounding yourself with people who are more experienced than you, brighter than you, and really giving people that come into your world something that they can walk away with, a tool, a skill, something that allows them to really connect with you. And that's it. That's what it's about. It's a trust factor. It's a likability factor. Recently, we've been talking to a gentleman about setting up sort of some ideas around a podcast and focusing and giving more value on USA Global TV. Dr. Jacalyn, you and I, we're now going to be launching this amazing platform for the children, coaching and training and understanding that. And it was really interesting because at the end of the day, this whole journey is very much about what problem do you solve or what pain do you take away from someone's life. But no one's just going to take your word for it. What we really need to be doing is we need to be building people who become our advocates. And you can only do that by proving yourself, by being genuine. It's exactly what you just shared, Dr. Jacalyn. If you're setting up something to do around the industry of fitness and nutrition, you've got to walk the walk and talk the talk. You cannot for 1 second be caught with your pants or trousers down on any level, because that will just blow your authenticity and will blow everything that you work so hard to do and to create. Just, these slip-ups, if we don't run true to ourselves, we definitely will fall down.
So true. And I also think, Philip, that we as humans are looking to connect with people that we feel are role models. And in order to be a role model, you have to have something that people want to model after. And I feel that everything that you're teaching there at the British School of Excellence is in alignment with people being better people, people having emotional intelligence, people really seeing a bigger picture instead of how we get stuck in a rut and just think about ourselves and our own problems.
100%. And this is exactly our drum beat, our rhythm, our heartbeat here at the organization. It is so ingrained in everything we do, is giving people those tools and those skills to go out there and put their best foot forward, to get noticed for all the right reasons, and to really understand the power behind what we have in our delivery, in our material. And don't take my word for it. We've got the most phenomenal video testimonials on our YouTube channel. We've got the most incredibly incredible thank you cards and thank you letters that I could bore you to tears with. Actually, I took pictures of them the other night, and this is before pre-pandemic, when people were still attending classes. I took pictures of over 60 beautiful thank you cards or letters. And I just reread those again, and I just thought, this is my why. This is exactly what we do. And the success stories that we get fed back to us is just eye-wateringly beautiful and stunning. It brings tears to my eyes. So yes, this is what our vision and focus is really giving people whatever the tool is that needs them to elevate themselves to the next level. I almost look at it like a big door, and you find the correct key for that door. And when you find that correct key and you pop it in the keyhole and you turn it and that door opens, this is what this is all about.
Absolutely. And I think also it's that openness and that desire to want to learn more, that curiosity about what else is there out there. And I know that's what we do on this platform as well. And that's what you do on yours. You bring people from all over the world together, and you have a very strong alumni community. And I think it's important that people realize that when you go down a certain path and you're with like-minded people, you're expanding your world, your connection, and your networks.
I couldn't agree with you more. And I don't believe anything just happens by chance either. Yes, there are coincidences, but I think the universe is conspiring and working with you when those coincidences align. I do, and this is something we talked about with the teenagers. Jump out that airplane and build that parachute on the way down. Don't say no to anything within reason. If it's life-threatening, but challenge yourself. Go out there and be a game changer. What are we protecting in this world? What are we hunting? What are we gathering? What are the areas of our lives that we need to really be focusing on? And I truly believe that in modern day education, they're not giving people the tools that they require for life.
I completely agree with you. So when we look at building the community, obviously we're talking about starting with ourselves, doing our own work. Once we do that and we have something of value that we want to offer to others, what do you think are some of the best ways to communicate that? Because one thing I know that doesn't work is if you start contacting people and saying, this is what I do, this is what I have. No one cares about that. People want to know, how can you help them? And Philip, you were talking a few minutes ago about the fact that when you're looking to really connect with someone at a very deep level, it starts with integrity and what is the value that you can bring? What are the problems that are keeping people up at night? It's not like going to a networking function and walking around with business cards and going, hello, hello. No, that's old news, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that question. And there are a couple of answers I'd like to sort of give you on what you've just brought to light and shared. Firstly, the one area that I feel is absolutely fundamental is we need to find out what it is people need and desire. In other words, what are their problems? What are their pain points? And go out there and build something around that. Give them something. No one wakes up in the morning and says, I'm going to go and spend X amount on a listening course. I'm going to go and spend X amount on a coaching course. I'm going to go and spend, I just feel like popping into the doctor to part with some money today. No one wakes up with that intent. You might look forward to going to get your hair done, get your nails done, to go buy a new blazer, new dress, new pair of shoes, going out to a beautiful restaurant. Those are things we are excited about. But the idea of having to sort of part with your hard-earned money in order to better yourself, so where do I go? There's just so much on offer out there. So as a brand, as someone out there who is offering a wide range of solutions, why should they choose you? What is it about your organization that stands out from the rest? And if you want a very direct answer on that, is let other people tell your potential audience, in other words, your potential guests, and I don't like the word clients, guests, each one's a guest that walks through your door. They become a guest. Find out what they need, they desire, but get past guests to tell other people how they have achieved and what they've experienced in your current organization, and let them shout out from the rooftops. Yes, you need to go out there and put yourself on the various different social channels and on the internet, as in Google, as in search engines, publications. You need to be doing that, getting yourself out there, because many years ago, I sat in a conference with the head of marketing for Coca-Cola, and he said, you can have the best products in the world, but if you don't market it, you ain't going to sell it, which is so true. So never ever be arrogant enough to say, hey, I've got the best product and I don't need to do anything. People will just come to me. They will for a while, but then it will peter out. So never ever lose that authenticity, that drive of banging the drum to get people to find you and discover you, but get other people to be promoting you. But only do that, and I say only do that, if you have discovered what problems you solve. What are you doing for other people? Don't just go out there and start something on a whim and think you've got the best product in the world or you've got the best solution in the world. Because if you haven't found out what the need and desire is, and there isn't a need and desire for what you believe is fantastic, you will never go anywhere either.
It's so true. And you know, you were sharing earlier about how much work goes into marketing and advertising. And we have to do that because we have to let people know that we're out here. We have to let people know what it is that we do. But the most important thing is for the testimonials, the referrals, the references from other people. And that is something that is so powerful, and it comes with time. It's not immediate.
No. And again, Dr. JACALYN, it boils down to that human connection of how you're making people feel. Because if you feel happy and comfortable, we've talked about this so many times on the show, is we can go to a really stunning restaurant and have a reasonable meal, but they've danced around you, they've made you feel so phenomenal, and they've gone the extra mile for you. They've given you that wow factor. 9 times out of 10, we will go back to that restaurant, despite the food being okay, I'm not saying hit and miss, a complete miss. It's generally a 7 or a 6.5, 7, 8 out of 10. But because the way you're being treated and the way you're made to feel, you will keep going back there. It's the same as going to a department store. You talk about retail, you know, what the world you were in. I can guarantee you 100%, Dr. JACALYN, that when you were in that sector, you had people coming back and wanting you to serve them and look after them because of the way you made them feel, because of the professional approach. And everything is not just how we're showing up and what we're wearing, how are we speaking to people? What choice of words are we using? How many of us get this when you walk into a store? You all right there? Am I all right there? What? How? It just blows my mind. You walk into a restaurant. How can I help you? I'm here to buy shoes. It beggars belief on how people are communicating or not communicating correctly. We went out to a lovely restaurant on Valentine's Day, and lovely place, lovely team. But at the end of the day, you know, I asked the lady behind the counter, please, would you get our coats? And she handed them. I said, thank you very much. No problem. Why should it have been a problem in the first place? It wasn't a problem. I know it's a term or phrase, but that term or phrase doesn't mean, it means zero. It leaves you with that word problem in your head. So we really do need to sort of look at this as polishing the whole crystal wall.
Excellent points that you bring up as always. And I'm kind of laughing to myself here about retail. I think I shared this on another show, but I was searching for this red lipstick. And of course, now that our friend Red O'Laughlin has on one of the shows talked about the dyes that are in red lipstick, I have to rethink it. But anyway, I walked into a very well known department store and everyone who works there just standing around, and there's no one at the counter that I want to go to. And do you think anyone would jump out and say, let me come over? And no, everyone's just staring, looking at you. I'm thinking, what are you doing here all day? You have a customer who wants to buy. So I think we all have to look at, are we following our passion? Are we doing what it is that we really love? And if not, it's going to come across. And again, that impacts your brand.
Completely. Now, look, some of us are incredibly fortunate, like you and I truly believe we are blessed. We're fortunate. We've found our why and our purpose, and we are passionate, genuinely deeply ingrained and passionate about what we do. But I truly believe at the same time that everybody out there can find something they are passionate about and follow that path. I really do. And not only that, do things that can give you the skill set to appreciate and enjoy what you're doing more and more. If you are in a job that's fairly mundane and what's the word, sort of matter of fact, make it interesting. Look at how you can polish yourself and how you can better the people's experience that are walking into your office or through the door or coming into your life. Go above and beyond. And I just wish that all of us out there would have that mindset and mentality and literally wake up each morning and say, okay, I've got to go to work. Fine. So we all got to go to work. I say we all, a lot of us, most of the world has to go to work. There are a few fortunate people out there who don't have to go to work, but I know many people who are so successful, they're workaholics and they keep going to work and they keep doing better and better and better. So there's no sort of one size fits all here. But going back to what I wanted to share was that when you do wake up in the morning, you've got a choice on how you're going to handle that day, how you're going to hit that day head on. And you've got to make an absolute effort, and sometimes even more of an effort on certain days. But there are tools out there that we can incorporate. And we talked about this when we had Felicia Kay on the show a few weeks ago. One of the lovely listeners watching said, how do you maintain this consistency? Am I always consistent as you see me on camera right now in the studio? Give or take, but yesterday I had a very flat day. I was tired from the day before. I had a lot on my plate. I didn't get a very good night's sleep, but I had to perform. And I had to bring my A game. I had various meetings. I had to bring my A game. No one would have known that I was really struggling to push myself through the day. I turn it up, and I turn it up even higher when I'm really finding that I'm not on my A game. So all of us can have this incredible opportunity to challenge ourselves, to give of our absolute best. And all you need to look at is, how can I be a little bit better than I was yesterday? What can I do differently today that I didn't do yesterday?
Absolutely. And I agree with what you're saying. And thanks for sharing about how you were feeling yesterday. It's good to see that you're back, pumped up, ready to go, but nobody would have known anyway. So that's something else I think is really important when we're building community, is we want to be authentic. And at the same time, we don't want to be hurling all of our problems at somebody. When someone says, how are you doing? Oh, I'm not doing, this is wrong, that, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry that I asked. But at the same time, a short answer of fine doesn't provide anywhere to go in terms of establishing a connection with someone.
Not at all. Not at all. I hate the term fake it until you make it, but act until you become. And the thing is, how are you today? I'm very well, thank you. Even though you might have a cracking headache. No one cares, with all due respect. I'm so sorry you've got I think I'm okay. You think you're okay. Are you okay or aren't you okay? This is such an interesting area to discuss at some point. Maybe we can dig deeper into in the future. But, again, you will, by sort of sharing with someone that, even though you might not be on your A game, just to say, I'm really well, thank you for asking, and how are you? And again, we've talked about this in the past, bring a compliment to the forefront and make someone feel valued and that you are there to connect and engage with them. And I think this is something is really a key point here, is be very, very present whenever we are showing up And this is, again, going to help you build that authenticity in that brand. Because if my mind is all over the shop and I'm not in the room mentally and emotionally, then there's going to be a massive disconnect.
For sure. And Philip, I think also something else about building our brand is that when we have people who are representing our brand, they're brand ambassadors, they're extensions of us. So we're putting our trust and our faith that they are promoting the brand as well as possible and also focusing on their clients. And so, as you know, here, I am always very much an advocate that the shows are about our guests, and our guests need to be treated with respect. We need to listen to what they're saying. It's not about us trying to one up them in their story. And in your business, it's the same. It's about your clients. So what can we share with our viewers and listeners about our brand ambassadors who can also be our clients and our customers?
Yeah, that's really great. A great question. It's something that I feel that, well, let's just take a step back here. Think about us growing up from a young age. We are representatives of our family and our background and our roots. And this is where it all starts. It all starts with that guidance and steering when we are young. And that's obviously, stating the obvious, is the best time to instill the importance of etiquette and manners, and instill the opportunity for people to understand the importance of emotional intelligence, how to handle yourself in certain situations, how to understand the importance of good sportsmanship, how to sort of plan your time accordingly, and how to be more, kind and friendly, and share with our youngsters that those will open doors for us wherever we go, no matter what. But jumping into what you've just asked is, again, we have to walk the walk and talk the talk ourselves, that our brand ambassadors see that we are absolutely a true representation of who we say we are, because they will then hopefully mirror image you and want to hopefully, walk in your footsteps. And I think this is where we as organizations need to share with our employees and the people that make every effort to come to work, that we are committed to them, that we are investing in them. And many years ago, someone said, yeah, what happens if you invest in an employee and they leave? Or what happens if you don't invest in an employee and they stay? That could crumple and crumble every single part of your hard-earned business and hard-earned money and the business that you've spent X amount of time building up. Warren Buffett said many, many years ago, it takes 15, 20 years to build an incredible business, but it can take 5 minutes to destroy it. And we as human beings is how we're treating the people that we are surrounding ourselves with. If you are a director and a boss, or someone who's so-called leading the way, how are you engaging and connecting with your fellow colleagues and employees? And that is the key. And I've got a book here which I love sharing with all our students. And funny enough, these young teenagers, one of the lovely young ladies asked me, said, Mr. Philip, what books would you recommend we read? And I thought, okay, they're not too young to take on a book like this. And it is A Business Philosophy by Isidore Sharp from the Four Seasons. It is a really phenomenal book. And he fell into the hospitality sector. He was studying engineering and he was going to support his dad in the building business. And he fell into hospitality. And he realized early on that if we're going to build an amazing brand, an amazing, amazing hotel group, we're going to have to treat our employees like the 5-star guests. And we can have the most beautiful buildings in the world, but if you don't have the best and the most dynamic staff members and employees representing your organization, you don't have anything.
Wow, so powerful. I love that. And to your point that you just made, if you invest in your employees and they leave, they're going to leave with a different feeling than if you didn't invest in them. So your reputation can still continue to be growing, even though someone's leaving. An example, I worked for a company for a very long time at my last job when I was in corporate. I have nothing but great things to say about them. Does that mean that every day was perfect, that everyone treated me? No, but overall, it was a great experience. And I would highly recommend that company to anyone who is looking for an event planning company, employee recognition, etc. So I think when we take that time to treat people as human beings and invest in them, then they're going to give back and invest in the brand. And that doesn't mean it's a perfect fit forever. As you know, people have many more jobs than they used to. When I was growing up, it was like you're supposed to go cradle to grave at the same company. But I feel that even though people are going and working in more places, that's okay, because they're getting more experience and they're still continuing to give accolades about the places they were before if they were treated very well.
And just to literally solidify exactly what you're saying, the late Jack Welch, who was the head of GE Capital, obviously everyone, it's a huge organization. He would never just fire somebody and let them leave the company. He would obviously, there would be an HR process and give someone the opportunity to better themselves. And if they didn't quite fit the role eventually, Jack Welch would make sure that that person leaving would have 3 or 4 recommendations that they would have made a personal introduction and said, Jimmy, it hasn't worked out here at GE Capital. However, we've teed up a few ideas for you for the future. It's been, a pleasure having you on board. I'm sorry it didn't work out, but here you go. And I just love that philosophy, because too many people out there, I fired so-and-so. I got rid of them. They were so useless. No, hold on. Why and how can you say that? If you find the right key to open that door in an individual, you can absolutely make a difference in someone's life. Now, you will get a situation, and we all know this, that someone's just not prepared to make an effort. No matter what you dangle in front of them, it could be a bigger paycheck. The paycheck lasts all of 3 or 4 days, the increase, and then they go back to their old selves. But it's how do we connect with our team members to build them and grow them? And if we can, and this goes back to what we talked about on the show with Alicia Kay, the love languages. If we can understand what each and one of our employees' love language is, we can then tender to the way they are being connected with and the way they're being dealt with, and you're going to get more out of people.
Exactly. What you put in, you're going to get out. And again, I think it's important to say that when you are investing in your employees or your clients or your customers, you're not doing it to get something. You're doing it because you're building something and you're giving value. And that, I think, is what building community around your brand is all about.
100%. Absolutely. It's a community. It is. You need a community. You can't be a one-man show on any level. It's about the people that you're engaging with, that you're connecting with. And, it takes so long. And we talked about this earlier, Dr. Jacqueline. You mentioned that the amount of effort and money that we invest in our platforms to get people interested in what we offer and what we do is a huge amount of money. So your return on investment needs to be there. You do. And when you bring someone through your door, eventually there's many years ago, one of my business coaches said to me, Philip, it's value, sell. In other words, you're offering value, building that trust, you're building that rapport. They like what they see. They've got that feeling of trust. Now they've come on board. They've walked through your door. You've given them the most wonderful experience. Then they ask you, could you guide me in this direction? And you just palm them off onto someone else. No, think about how you can continue to help that wonderful person that walked through your door in the first place. Give them that opportunity, because you built that trust and rapport. They will trust you and they will continue to support you and follow you. So that is really, really important. And if you do happen to palm them off onto someone, make sure you are 150% comfortable and sure that you are giving them the right sort of recommendation. Because if they have a bad experience with that person, unfortunately, it's going to come back and reflect on you.
Absolutely. And we do have a comment from one of your alumni, which I want to get to, but I also want to share, this just happened today. A stranger, someone I don't know, sent me a message on Messenger and congratulated me on the number of books that I have won awards or #1 new release, etc., and that this person is an author, and would I please help this person and provide some insights about how they could do the same thing? So the reason I bring this up is because one answer would be, yes, you can hire me as your coach. Another answer would be to meet with the person and give them some ideas, some of the things that have worked, bring value instead of immediately go to, well, I charge for that. That's my time. I charge for that. So I think that's something that we have to consider. This person could become a brand ambassador for what we're doing here, or the person could just be completely turned off that here they're reaching out just as a human. Hey, could you give me some insights about what you're doing so I could try to do it myself? And other way to look at it is, which would never be my way, would be, I'm not giving that information out. I don't want anyone else to have a number. It's ridiculous, but there are people who feel that way. So I think, again, building community, if someone reaches out to you, that's an opportunity to welcome them into your community based on how you treat them.
Completely. And we've talked about this on numerous occasions again. Time is our most important and most valuable thing we have, along with our health. And yes, it does take time for you, Dr. Jacalyn, to connect with that person and answer that person and share a few amazing tools and skills with them. It might go somewhere, it might not, but it's not about that. It's always give and never remember, always receive and never forget. There's a caveat in that, though. If you're always giving and you're getting no reciprocation, that person's now becoming a taker. But the bottom line is it is so important. One of the things, as you know, Dr. Jacalyn, and many of the viewers know who tune in on a regular basis, I spend a huge amount of money investing in personal coaching myself. And recently, about 8-9 months ago, I certified as a certified high performance coach. So over and above the focus on etiquette and manners and emotional intelligence, I really wanted to up-level myself, upskill myself. So we run 12 one-hour sessions, or I run 12 one-hour sessions as a high-performance coach. And that first 1-hour consultation with anyone who wants to just find out what I'm saying I in this state because I'm the one who delivers it, that I will give a free hour of my time and offer an insight into the areas of their life they want to focus on, and they get an opportunity to connect with me. They get an opportunity to find out that if I would potentially be the correct fit for them in order to move forward with them committing to a coaching program. It is so important. You've got to show that you're prepared to invest in your guests, because they're going to end up, and if they do invest in you, you've got to, it's that relationship that you've got to build and make sure you go above and beyond. Always hold on, let me rephrase that. Always promise and over deliver. Always promise and over deliver.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. And let's take a look at this comment. This is from one of your alumni. Can you see the comment, Phil?
Yes, absolutely.
As an alumni of BSC, I strongly feel the responsibility when I share with others that I have been trained with the best. There is a quote, "We become as successful as our mentor."
Let me tell you, this has given me goosebumps, because this young lady, she's going to be on our Live, Learn, Teach, Inspire episode coming up soon, which you're very kindly producing for us, Dr. Jacalyn. But this is one incredible lady. Where do I start? Someone who's just grown. Like, you have no idea. No idea. When I first met in Canada, I said, I want you to come on the doc. Oh, I could never do that. No, too timid. I said, you're coming. You're going to jump up that airplane and you're going to build that parachute. And this is an incredible young lady. Just as the people that come through the door, it's just mind-blowing that we are just so blessed to work with some of the greatest people out there.
And thank you so much for the comment. We really appreciate it. We love the engagement.
Yeah.
So we're actually at the end of our show for today, but I do want to let people know, as you shared earlier, let me see if I can find the graphic, that we do have a new show coming up for children and for their families. Here it is. It is Children Live What They Learn, the Power of Etiquette and Manners for Children. So, Philip, we have the wonderful Leanne from your team who helps book in some of the guests. If people are not able to get in touch with Leanne and they'd like to be a guest on the show, who would we like to join us?
Anybody out there who is keen to steer and guide our youngsters. Anyone from a teaching background, or anyone, I mean, we're all teachers. We all have the ability to teach, guide, and steer. But anyone who's passionate about watching our youngsters develop and grow and give them the quintessential tools for life. And this is not just necessarily about academia. I'm talking about giving them these amazing skills that will stand them in, well, just stand up for them throughout their entire life. It'll stand them in the best stead ever. So anybody, and I know many months ago we had an incredible woman who popped out of the blue from Pakistan who signed up on the platform, and we encourage anybody out there. There's a booking system on the USA Global TV, and if you want to book yourself on any of the shows and be one of our guests, we would embrace that and we would welcome you with open arms.
Thank you so much. And what you can do, I'll put it into the chat. Just go over to usaglobaltv.com or usaglobaltvandradio.com and look up at the top for book your session. And then I can actually walk you through it before we close out the show. A quick acknowledgement. I want to say hello to someone else who's watching and writes excellent. Is this someone you know, Philip?
The name doesn't ring a bell, I have to say. Zuleika Simon. I love the name, and I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly, Zuleika. I don't know the name off the top of my head, no. But thank you so much for sharing.
Yeah, thank you so much for watching. So, Philip, I know that your time is precious. Also, I'm going to walk us through the website so that people can see how to book. Do you have time to stay?
Of course, absolutely.
Okay, fantastic.
And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, this is in the American time zone from the East Coast of America. This is not GMT.
Exactly. Thank you for sharing that. Okay, here we are over on the website. And as you come here, you can see all of the shows listed here, but you can also go to book your session. And as Philip mentioned, the book your session is all in Eastern Standard Time Zone. So if you are in GMT, then that would be 5 hours ahead. If you're CET, that would be 6 hours ahead. So we offer coaching courses and more. So if you are interested in being a guest and you feel that you don't have the skill set that you'd like to have, or you're not an expert in being interviewed, we can help you with that before and after the show. We can do some editing for you. We offer courses, so keep scrolling down. And of course, I'd love for you to look at the courses. I mean, I'd love, to join us for a course and to take up your skill set. So here you see the power of etiquette and manners. So you would just click book. And then, for example, if you wanted to be on next week, you would click here. And again, 10 a.m. is 3 p.m. your time, GMT. And then you would just fill in this information. So it's just simple: name, email, phone number. And then it's really important that you answer these questions because we want the show to be all about you. So list 3 to 5 topics you'd like to discuss during your interview and let us know, how did you find us? Were you sent by a publisher? Did you Google? Did somebody refer you from another guest from being on a show? And then, of course, we'd love to have your bio, your social media links, and you can email them to us right here. So that's what I wanted to show you on the website. And Philip, anything else I should show while we're here?
No, that's brilliant. Just to reiterate, it is 3 p.m. UK time. That's 10 a.m. your time. If you're in Europe, that's will be 4 p.m. your time. If you were in Africa, South Africa, that would be 5 p.m. So just make sure you're looking on a global platform clock. It will help you if you put in 10 a.m. USA time as an East Coast time. Then it'll give you the time where you are, what time the show will kick off.
Wonderful. And we also meet 10 minutes before the show starts so that we can just get to know each other quickly and make sure that we know exactly what you would like the audience to take away from the show.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Brilliant, as always. Philip, I would love for you to share, if you still have it there, you have a book that you received for a present. Tell us more about this.
Oh, this book here was given to me by my wonderful wife, Kerry, for Christmas. And it was written by a gentleman who went to Cambridge University, a very bright man. And he set up in a market stall with 2 colleagues. And they basically, if I may share it, Richard Reed studied geography at St. John's College, Cambridge, before starting a career in advertising. A few years later, he and 2 friends left their jobs to found Innocent Drinks, starting from a market stall Today, Innocent produces more than 1 million smoothies a day and sells them in 17 countries across Europe. Reed is the founder of the Art Everywhere and co-founder of the Innocent Foundation and Jam Jar Investments. He also presented the BBC Three series, Be Your Own Boss. This is his first book. And he wrote there, if I could tell you just one thing. And he encounters with the most remarkable people and their most valuable advice. And it is just been the most lovely read. It's an easy read, but the people that he's engaging with, from Sir Richard Branson to the Dalai Lama, to Bear Grylls, to ex-President Clinton, to Joanna Lumley, to Stephen Fry, to Simon Cowell, to a gentleman who spent 4 years in solitary confinement, Terry Waite, a very famous journalist. It is just mind-blowing, the people that he has had the privilege to rub shoulders with and connect with. And the reason why I showed this to Dr. Jacalyn before the show started, it was something that's really stood out for me. Is the first chapter is his chat with Bill Clinton. And I just love Bill Clinton's guidance and steering, because Bill Clinton, for those of you out there may or may not know, he's done a huge amount of work through Africa. He's helped a huge amount of people. And he said one of the most important things is to see people, the person who opens the door for you, the person who pours your coffee, acknowledge them, show them respect. And I just love that, because every single one of us, should do that, and respect given is respect earned. Okay, so please understand that. This is just so, so beautiful and powerful. And if anyone's really looking for a good read, but with beautiful, beautiful knowledge and material that you can implement into your life, this is definitely a book I would 100% encourage you to take on board. It's an easy read, and there's just so much value in it.
Thank you so much for sharing that, Philip. And again, another show chock full of education, inspiration, and hope. I thank you so much for taking your time to be here. And thank you to Leanne. And thank you to our viewers and to our listeners. We look forward to seeing you again next week on the show. Philip, we've had your banner up, but for people who can't read it, or they're listening to the show instead of watching, what's the best way to get involved for people to take that step and join your community, your alumni?
Well, thank you, Dr. Jacalyn. The 1st of March, anybody interested in our Train the Trainer, we are running an open evening. It's going to be a 1-hour chat, informal chat, a taster session on Train the Trainer at 6 p.m. GMT. But as an organization, for you to look us up, is the best area to go to would be the World Wide Web, and that's the BritishSchoolOfExcellence.com. You can reach out to one of my colleagues on hello@theBritishSchoolOfExcellence.com. And as always, I'm very open. I love connecting on WhatsApp. My personal WhatsApp number is +44 780 885 9914. And wherever you are in the world, please do take time to have a look and reach out to us. And even if you don't reach out to us, just keep watching USA Global TV, because the value add to your life is going to be exponential.
Oh, thank you so much. I love having this friendship, partnership with you and with Leanne. It means so much. I also want to let people know that you and Leanne are in one of our upcoming books from our book series, The Amazing Adventures of Lady Ella. You are both in book 3, and I'm looking for the cover. Here it is. So the title of the book is Lady Ella Has Afternoon Tea in London. And the book has already been written. It's finished, and it's going to be available March 26th, which is my 60th birthday. Yay! So this book series is really in alignment with what we discuss here on the show. It's about learning to listen at an elevated level. And I know that you teach that at your school. So we put together this book series to help children and their families learn how to listen in a creative and fun way. And in this particular book, there is a tea party that is taking place, and certain of the animals there aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing because they haven't been listening. So, Philip, tell us, which character are you? Which one is Leanne?
Right. So, my dear colleague, Leanne, she loves animals, and she's got a few cats that she is very fond of. So she's the character of the cat. And I think with my African roots, I've always loved giraffes. I think they're the most incredible creatures. They're graceful in many senses of the word, the way they sort of walk with such poise and grace. And again, I'm going to use posture. I'm Gerald the giraffe in this particular series.
All of the animals on the book covers represent real people who took our program, The Power of Listening. And we invite everyone out there. It's a $39 course. It takes 2 hours. It's online. And once you finish, you are a member of our team here at USA Global TV and Radio. So the Ladybug is actually representing me in dedication to my great niece, whose name is Ella. So the Ladybug is Lady Ella. And I'm also the listening mentor here at USA Global TV and Radio. I teach people how to listen. We have a TV show called The Listening Mentor. So the Lady Ella Ladybug flies from one place to the next, meeting new animal friends and helping them. So she leaves the School of Joy in the second book, and she goes to London for afternoon tea. And then she leaves London and she actually goes to the ocean, because the ocean is calling. The ocean's actually crying because there's so much pollution in the ocean. And so Lady Ella comes to try to work with the animals to get one of the animals out of a net that's left by a fisherman, and it's pollution in the ocean. So there's a lesson as well as learning to listen skills. So you can see in this one, this is coming out June 26th. Lady Ella's wearing sunglasses. And later in the book, she has on little flippers on her little legs. So much fun. It also became, the fourth book became an Amazon #1 new release yesterday. I think it was within 12 hours of being released. So thank you to each and every one of you out there who's pre-ordering. Philip, once again, a pleasure. I'm super excited that we have this platform. We also have the new children's show that's starting in March. So I can't thank you enough for everything that you're doing, you and Leanne, your whole team, and all of the wonderful alumni who come here.
Thank you. And to you and your team. Well, you are the team, Dr. Jack, and I know you've got the amount of hours you put into this amazing platform is, I don't think people would actually believe you if you told them, but, and you find time for yourself and for your mum and for your exercise, and all the things you do are just phenomenal. So huge respect and thank you.
Thank you. It takes a village, so to speak. So
Absolutely.
Thank you again to you and all of our team members. We are signing off for now. We look forward to seeing you again. Our next show today is Talking Heads. So we'll be back with that in a couple of hours. All right. Take care, everyone. Bye for now.
Weekend. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.